Ever buy a big piece of land and trying to figure out what to do with it? Well, Herbert Baumeister figured out. Now we're going to go over the I-70 serial killer.
We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX, MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Me Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Yes, that's right. We're going to go over Herbert Baumeister. The whole reason why I'm going over this guy is because it's actually newer news, because his land, which was 18 acres, and we'll go into that more detail, they still found like 10,000 human remains. Now, mind you, it's not 10,000 humans, it's 10,000 human remains. It's eye candy for some people, like, oh, they found 10,000 humans on his. No, it was 10,000 human remains, basically, small pieces of a bone and what. But we'll get into Herbert Baumeister. And yes, that's how his name is. It's kind of weird. Now, let us begin. Herbert Baumeister was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, on April 7th, 1947. The oldest of 4 children, born to anesthesiologist. Man, I had that like before I did the show. But anyways, Dr. Herbert Eugene Baumeister, he died November 12th, 1986 at age 66, and Elizabeth Baumeister Nee Schumit died April 7th, 2013 at age 89. His childhood was poorly normal, but he began exhibiting antisocial behavior by the onset of adolescence. Friends later recalled Baumeister urephilia. Urephilia is a paraphilia in which sexual excitement is associated with the sight and thought of urine or urination. He liked being peed on, or he liked watching people get peed on. R. Kelly's type stuff. Anyways, and how he used to ponder what it would be like to taste human urine. I guess he liked to be peed on. Baumeister also enjoyed playing with dead animals and urinating on the teacher's desk. How did he not get, like, going through this and everything, I'm wondering how he not got he didn't how he not got how he didn't get like expelled if the kids like told everybody it's like, hey, he's peeing on your desk. Well, we need to get him out of here. And his teams, Herbert's behavior brought the attention to of his father, who secretly him put him into a mental examination, which the diagnosis was paranoid schizophrenia and interpersonal disorder, but did not receive further psychological treatment. Because his school, North Central High School, focused on sport activities, Herbert could not become part of the in crowd and just did not blend in. And back in the day, sports were, I mean, Texas is known for like its football. It's a religion here in Texas. He withdrew himself, spent many hours alone, and did not date. In 1965, Herbert attended Indiana University for his semester before dropping out, but returned in 1967. In 1962, he attended a semester in Butler University. As an adult, Herbert drafted through a series of jobs, making marked by a strong work ethic, but also by increasingly bizarre behavior. Herbert married Julianne Salter? I think it's Salter. Stephanie Hawking from Beyond the Grave.
Satellite.
Satter. In November 1971, a union would produce 3 children. Satter later said that he had not been very sexually intimate and only had sex 6 times in over 25 years of marriage. She never even saw her husband nude, which that's weird. That's very weird, you know. Even sex. I guess they did it like through the pee hole, the pants. I've heard stories of that, and it's still human contact, best contact. Let's just say that for sexual stuff. 6 months after his marriage, Herbert was committed to a psychological hospital by his father for 2 months. His wife said he was hurting and needed help. Herbert eventually founded the successful 2-store Save-A-Lot thrift store chain in Indianapolis in 1988. Isn't there Well, there's a lot of stores named Save-A-Lot, so it's probably not a part of that franchise. Around May 1988, Herbie and Julia purchased a farm property called the Fox Hollow Farm. In 1994, Herbert, son had been playing in the family wood backyard when he found a complete, partially buried human skeleton. Herbert explained to his family that he had been one of his father's dissecting skeletons. He then had to store it in their garage and bury it in the garden again after he's cleaned out the garage. I seriously think that I know I haven't gone over this guy for my podcast, but I've heard about this guy for a while. So it's retelling of a retelling and retelling. So now the I-70 Strangler, and the nickname of a unidentified American serial killer who at least 11 young boys and adult men. Hold on real quick. I gotta do something about this. Sorry, I had to bring up the information a little bit bigger. My eyesight's going out and it sucks. But anyways, the I-70 Strangler is a serial killer known of at least 11 boys and adult men in Indiana and Ohio. I always mess that one up. Ohio and Iowa. I get them flip-flopped and can't pronounce them. It's weird. But between June 1980 and October 1991, dumping their bodies in the Interstate 70, the killer met his victims in a popular gay bars. and other similar establishments without 4-block radius in Indianapolis. All the victims were later found naked and partially uh, clothed near I-70, often dumped in rivers, streams, ditches, and Royal Courtside. Each had been strangled to death, though officially unsolved. Herbert was named the prime suspect in most of these cases in April 1999 by law enforcement. According to the investigators, body related to the I-70 stranglers case stopped being found in 1991 after Herbert bought the Foxhole Farms, which he would use as a burial site for most of his subsequent victims. Now, of these victims, body of 15-year-old Michael Sheen Petrie was discovered naked in Royal Hampton County, Indiana, on June 16th, 1980. Despite his young age, he was a male prostitute who spent most of his time around Indianapolis gay bars. He was reported missing June 7th, but 3 days later, he was observed in different parts of the city riding along in a stranger's car. The cause of death was established as strangulations. No traces of drugs or alcohol were found in his blood. Topless corpse Maurice Allen Taylor, 22, was found in July 21st, 1982, in Weasel Creek in Royal Hampton County, Indiana. While the cause of death was not sufficiently established, law enforcement suspect he had been strangled. Tyler was a vagrant who lived in a boiler room of an apartment complex in Indianapolis, and due to his financial difficulties, he offered sexual services around gay bars. Devon Lee Baker, 14, was found semi-nude near a river in Hamilton County, Indiana, on October 3rd, 1982. While investigators investigating his death, authorities located a witness who established that Baker was last seen on the evening of October 2nd in downtown Indianapolis, boarding a blue van driven by a young white man with a bushy mustache. I guess it was like big mustache. The boy's parent. That's the thing with mustaches. Either you're Tom Selleck, you're badass looking with a mustache, or you're a creeper and you look like a pedophile. So there's no in between. I know fire departments have like a rule for mustaches, but they got the handlebar mustaches, so they're not totally creepy. It's that porn star 70s mustache that's really bushy and everything that people like. Either you're a creeper or you're a badass with that mustache. The boy's parents told police that he had been riding his bike in the city center on the night of his disappearance, from where he called home at 10:30 p.m. to inform them that he was going to be late because he wanted to go to the cinema. It was later established that Baker had been cruising in Indianapolis gay bars for the last 3 months and had been prostituting himself. Jeez, 14. Oh, man. Man, some of these cases are just, it's down-putting on some of them. Michael Andrew, also known as Mick Riley, 22, disappeared on May 28th, 1983, after visiting a Vogue Theater, a gay nightclub in Indianapolis. He was last seen with an unidentified man whom he later left with. In February 1988, the Indianapolis residents contacted police and claimed that Herbert was the last man seen leaving the Vogue Theater with Riley. Riley's nude body was later found in a ditch in Hancock County, southeast of Greenfield, on June 5th. The autopsy determined that he had been strangled, and the perpetrator likely used a towel. Eric Allen, let's get Stephanie Hawking on this.
Rocher.
Eric Allen Rocher, 17, vanished on May 7th, 1985, with his shirtless body found a few days later near a stream of Royal Preble County, Ohio, east of Lewisburg. I guess he just wanted. See, when I was reading this, I noticed the topless shirts. I wonder if he kept the shirts as a trophy type thing. Because most serial killers collect trophies or whatnot. But anyways, Eric was planning to attend interviews for the summer job of the day of his disappearance, but did not attend any of them. His friends and relatives denied that he was gay, but later research indicated that Eric had many acquaintances who were drug addicts and drug traffickers. Witness claimed that he had been seen Eric at a bus stop in the early mornings of March 7th. But instead of waiting for the bus, he accepted a ride from a passing car. When found, he was apparently burn marked on his left shoulder and had been strangled with a rope. The body of 29-year-old Mike Glenn, clad only in his underwear, was found in a ditch in Eaton, Ohio on August 15th, 1986. He lived separated from his parents in a trailer park located on the outskirts of Minneapolis and worked as a handyman. The exact dates of his disappearance was not established. Strangulation marks and possible from a rope were found around his neck. He was identified 3 years after discovering with the help of fingerprinting. Now, there's a laundry list of victims, but we will not go over all of them. But by the early 1990s, investigators with the Melton County Sheriff's Department and Indianapolis Police Department began investigating the disappearance of gay men of similar age, height, and weight in the Indianapolis area. In 1994, they were contacted by a man named Tony Harris, claimed that a gay bar patron called himself Brian Smart had likely killed his friend Roger Goodlett. And Goodlett. Now, Roger Allen Goodlett, 33, went missing on July 22nd, 1994, last seen after he left his mother's residence where he lived to visit a gay bar on 16th Street in Indianapolis. 2 weeks before his disappearance, Goodlett was assigned in the company citing in the company of Herbert and several Indianapolis homosexual establishments. And based on this, on his suspicion increased on Goodlett's missing persons case, and I had attempted to kill him at a with a pull hose during an erotic asphyxiation session in his mansion. Man, I just butchered all that. Erotic asphyxiation session in his mansion after he had met him in a local Indianapolis gay bar, the 501 Club. Harrison eventually saw this man again in August 1995. Following his car and noting his license plate number, police identified Brian Smart as Herbert Barnes. Stephanie Hawking, help me with his last name.
Baumeister.
Baumeister. Investigators approached Baumeister, told him he was a suspect in the disappearance, and asked him to search his house. But Herbert and his wife Juliet refused to allow the search of their property. I guess they didn't have a warrant. By June 1996, however, Juliet had become suspiciously frightened by her husband's erratic behavior that after filing for divorce, she consented to a search. The search of the estate was conducted while Baumeister was on vacation. It turned up the remains of 11 men, 8 of whom were identified. With a warrant out for his arrest, Herbert fled to Ontario, where he committed suicide at Pennery Polvic Park on Lake Horton by shooting himself in the head with a .357 Magnum handgun. Herbert left 3-page suicide written on yellow notebook paper and regretted messing up the park. He wrote he felt bad about his broken marriage, failing business, but he did not mention the remains of the victims or admitted to any crime. He described items on the trip, including his attempts to kill himself in different places, but seeing children there had changed his mind. His final meal was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Well, saying on that, we do have recent investigation. This is coming from News Channel 8 for NBC broadcast, and it's by Planet Sloan. Tampa Bay, Florida. For decades, police have said, well, wasn't Tampa Bay, Florida. That's where it's affiliated. It's Tampa Bay, Florida. For decades, police have been trying to identify victims of a suspect serial killer. Last month, authorities made another breakthrough discovery. On May 21st, Hamilton County Coroner Office in Indiana announced human remains recovered from Fox Hollow Farms, the former home of Herbert Baumeister. In 1996, has been identified as Jeffrey Jones. He was also reporting missing in August 1993. According to the coroner office, Jones is the third victim to be identified after more than 10,000 human remains, including bone fragments and body parts, were uncovered at the Fox Hollow farm. Investigators said that they had found additional DNA profiles that not have been identified, and bringing the total number of presumed victims to 12. Because many of the remains were found burnt and crushed, the investigators is extremely challenging. However, the team of law enforcement and forensic specialists working the case remain committed. Hamilton County Coroner Jeff Jolson said in a statement, a special thanks goes to very talented, hard work people at the FBI, Indiana State Police Laboratory, Dr. Kristen Lamb of Biology and Anthropology Department at the University of Indianapolis, and DNA experts from Texas-based Orthoma. God, I was rolling really good with that. Hold on, everybody. Stephanie Hawking, please.
Othram
Laboratories. Officials said Jones's remains were identified through extensive forensic genealogy investigation conducted by the FBI and the coroner office. The 4 additional unidentified DNA profiles will also be sent to the FBI for genetic genealogy investigation. Now, saying all that, we all know what happened to Herbert Baumeister, also known as the I-70 serial killer. And if you noticed, like halfway through that my voice changed, I noticed that my voice changed, and it was actually, I was listening to it at the same time, and I was like, that doesn't sound half bad. And I'm actually pronouncing stuff very easy. It literally made me speaking all this stuff a lot easier, and that's the whole reason why I did it. I was like, oh my god, me just changed my voice to that. I can speak a lot clearer, and it sounds a lot better. So I think I'm going to start using this voice to read the serial killers for Psychos and Sociopaths. So if you start hearing changes in my voice, the first half will be just my normal voice, which it sounds like this, but the rest of it will probably be this. I sound, 1, more educated, and 2, I think my brain sounding like this lets me pronounce words that I should not have been able to do it in my normal voice. So mark this day. This is my Psychos and Sociopaths voice. Thank you all. Love you guys. Seriously, I really love you guys. Got some good comments on some of the stuff, and I honestly can't believe I've been doing this probably. Well, I've been doing the Psychos and Sociopaths for probably around about 3 or 4 years, and it's starting to manifest itself a little bit faster now. It's still not there, but love doing it. I was a special secret guest, technically, on the night shift with Andrea up late, which was fun. I don't know if they're publicly doing what they say they're going to do, but I'm really happy for those guys. BC Centers of Disruptor Podcast and Andrea. you know, you know. But yeah, it was nice to talk with them again. I'm gonna have BC on as a guest later on in July, since their month is gonna be a little bit full this month. But they do have a registry website, if you know what I mean. And you can give them $5 for beer or something like that. But anyways, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I enjoy doing this each and every week. Goodbye.